This is episode number 33.
Hello and welcome to Chase Your Star. I am Monica Carter Tagore, here to inspire and empower you to use your gift and shine. One of my fundamental beliefs is that life gives each of us at least one gift, sometimes more, to be able to make our way. And making a way is about making an impact and making an income. I want to help you use your gift so you can shine and make your way. When you are ready for all life has for you, it's time to chase your star. Let's go. Hello and welcome to this episode of Chase Your Star. I am so thrilled you are here. Actually, I'm always thrilled you're here. And I know you may even get tired of me saying that, but I'm thrilled you're here because this podcast is an opportunity for me to inspire, empower, and equip those listening with the tools they need to be able to go forward and to chase their star, to live out their big, bold lives, to pursue those things that make them shine, whether they're calling, purpose, or passion. So that is why I am excited to share this with you today, because today I want to speak with you for a few moments about courageous action. You see, you've got to be able to take courageous action to pursue your passion, your purpose, your calling, to chase your star. If you don't figure out how to take courageous action, you will never live up to the vision you have in your heart. You will never live up to your potential. You will never live up to what you can, to the possibilities, because fear will hold you back. Courageous action is about being able to move past, being able to move through the fear and get to the other side, to start putting one foot in front of the other on the path to something great. And this, in fact, courageous action is my personal theme for my life this year. And it's what I am working in my business to be able to help clients to unfold in their lives and in their work. So I am here to help people just to, again, stop letting fear hold them back. And as I said, it is my personal theme in life this year. And it started last year. When I battled breast cancer, I faced a lot. There were doubts, there were concerns, there were issues, there were questions, there were uncertainties. Because anytime you are diagnosed with a devastating illness like cancer, you don't know what lies ahead. You have questions, you have fears, you have concerns. You don't know how treatment will affect you. You don't know if you emerge from treatment. You don't know how your life will be altered. And so I faced many of those concerns, many of those fears, and I had to figure out a way to take courageous action, to move past the fear. And I made it my business to do that. I trusted life. I trusted God that things would work out, but I had to walk the walk. I had to take the action. So for me, I chose to take courageous action. I chose to do what I could to improve my situation. I changed my lifestyle. I tried to start incorporating more rest into my routine. I tried to make sure that I was listening to inspirational information such as music and TED Talks even, and presentations, reading inspirational materials such as articles and books, things like that, to keep my spirits up, to lift my spirits, to help me to stay in a positive frame of mind. So my courageous action was about fueling my mind and my spirit with inspiration and positivity to move me forward. And it was about walking the walk, taking the actions that I realized I needed to take to help my situation. And of course, I was so grateful, so thankful, so blessed to hear that I am in complete remission, to get that news late last year. So I am really thrilled and I'm so grateful, but it could not have happened without courageous action, without being willing to trust the divine, without being willing to take the steps I needed. And so I have carried that theme over into this year so that it can inspire and equip me to go farther, to go for even more that I want in life, to go for my full potential, to live out a big, bold vision for my life. It's about courageous action, not being held hostage by fear. And so, as I said, I am working with clients now to help them to make the leap, to take courageous action within their own lives and work so that they can live out those big, bold visions for their lives. I was reminded of this theme in a recent discovery call. I often offer discovery calls to help people to really start to come to the realization of the big vision they have for their lives, and to see how their gifts play into that, and figure out a way to be able to move forward, to use their gifts to create a solution to help other people. And so I was having a discovery session with this woman, helping her to identify the big, bold vision for her life, and then to see what were the barriers to that success, what was keeping her from living out this fulfilled life, living out this energetic life, living out this vision she had. And so it was such a powerful call. She had some breakthroughs there, and she was so honest and forthcoming. And so because of that, we were able to get to the heart of the matter. And she was able to uncover and identify that big, bold vision for her life. And by the time she left the call, she was so excited, so inspired, so ready to go forward. But in the midst of that call, she was able to talk about why she hadn't been able to go forward before then, the barriers that were standing in her way. And of course, I'm not going to go into all of the details of her particular situation, but one of the things standing in her way was fear. She was afraid to step out there. In fact, she had started and stopped so many projects. She had a life full of projects that she had started but never completed. She had so many desires, so many hopes and goals and dreams, and she had tried at different points to pursue them. And because of that fear, she was not living up to her potential. She was not enjoying life in the way that she desired, in the way she knew was possible. And so she said that sometimes she would do things, she would start on projects, but then she would look around and she would compare herself to others who were doing similar things. And she would wonder why her thing would stand out, or she would somehow beat herself up that she could not live up to the potential that other people had. And what she shared really touched my heart, because it is something a lot of people encounter. Many people have big, bold visions, but they let fear keep them still. They let fear hold them hostage because they're comparing themselves to others. They are comparing their use of their gift to somebody else. But you know what? It's an unfair comparison. You can't compare the use of your gift to somebody else's gift, because you haven't lived their story. You don't know all the details. You don't know whatever they had to go through, whatever they may be going through at that time, whatever they sacrificed, whatever they did to make the use of that gift happen. And since you haven't lived their exact life, you haven't lived their exact story, you can't compare your life or your story to theirs. You can only compare your life and your story to your own. You can only compare yourself to your own self. So you can compare who you are today to who you were yesterday and see that you've grown, but you can't compare yourself to somebody else, because again, it's an unfair comparison. You haven't walked the same walk. You haven't lived the same path. You may not have the gifts in the same way. And so I helped her to see that she did not need to compare her use of her gift to somebody else's, because the reality is that what is for her is for her. And her gift may be intended to be used in a different way than somebody else's. She may be intended to reach people that somebody else may not be able to reach. And so it's important for her to be able to do the best expression of her gift in the best way she can, so that she can touch the lives she's intended to touch, so she can reach people she's intended to reach. And it's the same thing for you. You have been gifted with something by life. Most likely you have several gifts. And so it is up to you to use your gifts to create solutions, to create help and hope for other people. And if you are not doing that, we all lose. If you are not walking boldly in your calling, your purpose, your passion, we all lose. If you are not using your gifts to help others in some way, we all lose. If you are holding back because of fear, we all lose. So it's time to take courageous action. And as someone who went through breast cancer last year, I can tell you, time is of the essence. It's imperative that you take courageous action to live out your purpose, your passion, your calling now. You have no time to waste, because there are people you need to reach. There are things you need to do. There's potential you want to live up to. You can't wait any longer. You can't sit on the sidelines of your life. So what do you need to do? First, you need to be honest with yourself. Acknowledge the fear. You see, that can actually reduce stress, because sometimes we try to pretend, even to ourselves, that everything's fine. And so that creates a lot of stress within us. So if you acknowledge the fear, acknowledge that you have concerns, that can reduce your internal stress. Then next thing, I want you to actually examine your fear. Take it out, unfold it, see what it's all about. See why you're afraid. Sometimes fear is life's wisdom telling us we're in danger, and certainly we need to pay attention. But sometimes fear is an unrealistic expectation based on a story we have told ourselves. So you need to take your fear out and examine it and see what it's about. Is it about the fact that you really are in danger? If so, you need to change the situation, get yourself out of danger. Or is it about some story you have cooked up, some story you're telling yourself that really is not based in reality? If it's about a story you're telling yourself, you can rewrite that story. You can rewrite that story so that you're coming from an empowered position and not from an intimidated position. So you have control over that situation. So 1, acknowledge the fear. 2, examine the fear. 3, I want you to give yourself permission to act and fail. The reason it's important to give yourself permission to act and fail is that many times people are afraid of failure. And so because they are afraid of failure, they don't move. So if you give yourself permission to act and fail, then you give yourself the opportunity to move forward and know that if things don't work out quite as well, it's okay. It's okay. That gives you the freedom to move. And you may go forward and act, and you may not fail. You may have amazing success. But if you do go forward and fail or stumble or make a mistake, you realize that it's okay. It's part of the process. You can pick yourself up. You can learn from that mistake. You can make adjustments and keep going forward. That's how you take courageous action. You acknowledge the fear, you examine the fear, and you give yourself permission to act and fail. Get a plan of action. You decide what step you're about to take right then, what you're going to do next, so that you are moving forward. Action can't happen without movement. So you have got to be able to move, take courageous action. That means move. So in the case of the woman I just mentioned to you in the discovery session, we came up with a plan, what she was getting ready to start working on at that time, so that she could start moving out of that place of fear and start addressing the issues that she saw and start putting one foot in front of the other so that she could build this big, bold life she envisioned. You can do the same. What step do you need to take right now that helps you start moving, that gets you out there? What do you need to do right now to start walking in your calling, in your purpose, in your passion? What is that one step you need to do? Of course, if you would like to have a discovery session with me, if you would like to explore your gifts and how you can use them in a big, bold way to create the life and brand you desire, certainly go to chaseyourstar.com/discovery-session and apply for a discovery session. I only am able to offer a limited number of those, but apply and maybe you will be able to get approved and have one, because I am so serious about inspiring, empowering, and equipping people to chase their star, to pursue that thing that makes them shine, to follow their purpose, their passion, their calling, so they can feel energized and they can make the contribution they know they were created to make. So if you want to have a discovery session, please go to the website and apply for one. Regardless of whether you apply for a discovery session, I want you to come out of this particular podcast knowing that you can no longer sit in fear, knowing you can no longer sit on the sidelines of your own life. I want you to come out of this podcast episode with the resolve that you will move forward. You will take courageous action to walk in your calling, walk in your purpose, live out your passion. You will take courageous action to be able to do the work you know in your heart you were placed here to do. If you have gone through something, if you have been through something that was so painful, so tough, so hard, and it taught you something, you somehow made it through to the other side of that thing, then life is calling you, most likely, to be able to help other people so that they too can get through a similar experience. Life is calling you to share what you have learned as a result of that experience. Life is calling you to help others so that maybe they don't have to go through the hard time you did, or that through what you share, they can learn how to get to the other side of that issue, just as you did. So look at your life. What have you learned that can help others? What have you experienced that can create a solution for others? What gifts do you have that can be fashioned into a solution to offer help and hope to somebody else? You have a gift, most likely more than one, and it is incumbent upon you to use your gifts, whether it's a gift of knowledge or expertise, a gift of a talent or a skill, a gift of a big idea. It's incumbent upon you to use your gift now to be able to help others, to be able to make life better for yourself and for others. But you've got to take courageous action. You have got to be willing to stand up and be noticed for your work. You've got to be willing to create something that didn't exist before. You've got to be willing to share with others what you learned. Take courageous action. Decide on the one action you will take today to move forward. Like that woman, you can't stay on the sidelines. You can't compare yourself to others, and then because you feel that you don't measure up, you stop working. You can't continue to start on projects and never finish. Let them fall by the wayside. No, time is marching on. No, time is of the essence. Time waits for none of us. And so it is imperative that you start now taking courageous action to use your gifts, to participate in life in the way that you know you have been called to do. What does that look like for you? Does that look like starting a business? Does it look like growing your brand? Does it look like writing your book? Does it look like speaking? Does it look like developing your website? Does it look like blogging? What does it look like? How do you need to put your words out there? How do you need to put your work out there? How do you need to touch lives? How do you need to use your gift? Take courageous action to use your gift. Again, coming from that breast cancer experience last year where I didn't know what would happen, I just really want to impress upon you the urgency of now, the fact that time does not wait. You can't wait till everything is perfectly done. Start with where you are and go forward. Start now and you will grow. You will increase your capacity. You will increase your skill level. You will increase the power to manifest that which you want as you go forward, as you grow forward. But it starts with courageous action. Courageous action is my personal theme for the year, and it is the theme that I am encouraging you to embrace so that you can chase your star. You can live out the purpose, passion, and calling on your life. You can use your gifts in a magnificent way to go out there and shine.
And there you have it. This episode's information to inspire and empower you to use your gift and shine. For more free information like this, be sure to join me on my upcoming webinar, How to Turn Your Gift into a Unique Offering Others Will Buy. Go to ChaseYourStar.com/gift-success. See you next time on Chase Your Star.